We will start. There it is.
Great.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Before I start, I hear my air purifier. I'm going to turn that down because that is loud. Do not like that in the background. There we go. It's like I'm not going to like that when I'm editing, hearing that in
Yeah,
the background.
that wouldn't be good.
Take two. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Really excited for today and have an awesome guest with us. We have Emily Rose Hines, who is up in New York, Long Island area, and excited to vibe with her today. Came across her Instagram page not too long ago, and I saw her poetry page and awesome stuff over there. I'll definitely make sure that you guys can connect with her there. And I was like, I love what she's sharing. I love the vibes, and reached
Oh,
out to her in a voice message and asked her if she wanted to be a guest on the podcast. And here we are today. So super excited to introduce you guys to Emily. And you could share with the audience so they're more familiar with you, who you are, what you do, why you do it, all these good things.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful to be here. I'm excited to share some things about myself and have a good conversation. Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Rose Hines. As you said, I am from New York, and right now I'm on Long Island at my childhood home. Due to COVID-19, which I know is all affecting us in a variety of ways. I am a poet, I am a writer, I am a performer, a yogi, and a spiritual teacher. I, um, I've had a long relationship with artistry and creativity from the time that I was a very little girl. Um, I've developed a deep, deep passion for performing and entertaining when I was very young. And I actually got my bachelor's degree in theater and dance with the concentration in musical theater. So, that creative side, that self expression side has kind of been with me for a very long time. Um, my love for music and movement and expression and storytelling has been in my blood for as long as I can remember. Um, and along with that, my writing has kind of been that other creative outlet that I've always had from the time that I was a little girl. Some of my oldest memories are journaling and my little diaries and writing poems and short stories. And um, it was always this outlet that I utilized as a means of expressing myself and as a means of release when I was trying to process things as a youngster. And I faced a lot of adversity and some, great loss and sadness as a child, a lot of illness in my family and death, and, these creative outlets that I had and have had has passions for so long. I began utilizing them during these times of hardship as a way for a young person to kind of try and process these foreign things, grief and pain and loss, these feelings that, children aren't really used to feeling at a young age. Love is obviously our nature. We're born into this nature of love. And when out of nowhere, these feelings of pain and sadness kind of get thrown into your hemisphere, it can be very overtaking. And I don't even think at the time, because I was so young, I don't think I even realized the benefit that I was providing myself by utilizing these creative outlets that I have always done in my life. But, you know, writing down my thoughts and writing down my feelings, now when I look back on it, doing that at such a young age truly benefited me and healed me in a way that, not a lot of other things have. Um, so, you know, I've always carried that passion with me. And as I grew older and I continued with my writing, and it evolved as I evolved and it grew as I grew, I started to really realize the benefits of what it was doing for me as a whole, my spirit and my heart and physical body, mental, emotional health. And yeah, it got to a point where about 2 years ago, I had so many journals full of endless poems and prose and passages. And I was like, you know what, I want to share this with the world. Why am I keeping all of these locked away in my millions of diaries and journals that I have? Um, so I created the Thought Blossom. And originally, it was actually an anonymous platform. I didn't, associate me, Emily Pines, with the platform at all. So my name wasn't involved. Um, and that lasted for, maybe 6 months. And the reason why I did that was because I wasn't necessarily sharing my work to gain recognition for myself. I wasn't looking to be applauded or clapped for. It was really me wanting to share this with other people as, my hope that they would find peace in my work. Um, and lo and behold, this platform, this community, the Thought Blossom, just kind of skyrocketed, and it started growing very rapidly. And I was like, I could really build something of this. I could really create something from this community. So I decided to start, associating myself with it, so that there was kind of a face to the name, so I could gain more connections with these people, personal connections, and be able to introduce myself and explain, who I am, where I come from, and why I'm doing this. And, really, like I said, my only hope for this platform was to use the pain and the hardships and the struggles that I have gone through and kind of come out on the other side of, and share that vulnerability with people to, help them through their healing, and to let them know that you're not alone in these experiences that you're going through. I'm here for you. I've been through maybe not the same things, but very similar things. And I just wanted to really create that safe space, where people can share their thoughts and feel heard and feel listened to and understood. Um, so yeah, it's been such an incredible journey, kind of creating this community, and it's grown so much in the past 2 years now. I'm working on, expanding. I'm always trying to think of what's next and how to evolve this brand that I've created. But I'm really, really grateful for all of the connections that I've made. And I'm so grateful for all of the people out there who read my work and share, personal things with me. I love connecting with people on my direct messages and hearing people's stories and where they come from. And yeah, I'm on this eternal journey of growth and healing, and I think we all are. So, I'm just happy that I can share and, give insight or advice or, enlightenment to people who are willing to kind of listen and be a part of that journey with me. So I just went on a very long tangent.
I love it so much. You inspire me in several ways that I'm excited to
Oh, thank you.
But see, when I first discovered Emily's Instagram, like I saw all the different things that she shared on there as far as that she's passionate about, that she just named off, like I don't know if I even knew the yoga part, or I don't know which part element she shared, but I knew she was a spiritual teacher and also to perform and like all the things that she named. And I always loved communicating with any human being when they're expressing what they're passionate about, because
Yes.
that energy of passion, and she highlighted it so beautifully. It's so important for all of us to be aware that whenever we're involved in anything that we're passionate about, just the energy of passion in and of itself
Mm.
means that in that moment, like we're connected with whatever it is that
Yes.
you believe out there, whether it be God, universe, love, all that is, source, spirit, infinite intelligence, like in that energy, like, and that's a more momentum filled energy than even just like, even when you're at peace, like you're connected. Like for me, I just like knowing when I'm just at like a nice
Absolutely.
peaceful chill, because I know that I'm able to hear and to see synchronicities that I enjoy and all of these things. Passion is just more momentum going to where you're really like connected with
Mm.
it, to
Yes.
where we have phrases like, in the zone or in the flow, which I know that you experience, and all those things that you mentioned
Mhm.
when you're writing and we're in like the in flow, like we're
Yeah.
connected. The things that are flowing off that pen is just like, whoa, like this is powerful.
It's magical.
E-
Yeah.
even those of us that maybe we wouldn't say like I've written or spoken poems before, like spoken word stuff before.
Mhm.
It's because I knew I was super connected, like I was in a really good mood, and
Yeah.
I had an inspiration to just something that I wanted to share. I was like, I bet you I could do this in poem form, and I've
Yes. Why
not,
not?
and it just like comes out like, whoa, this is cool. But
Yeah. It should be,
what my
go ahead.
one thing, no, I'm gonna you share anything that you want to share. One
Okay.
thing I just make sure I highlight, because like the cool thing when we are like flowing in this energy and we're connected, when you mention like healing through the times in your life that were just really, really challenging, and
Mm.
you're correct, we've all had those. When we can be connected, we have access to healing from these experiences differently than when we're if we've had a challenging experience and like we're going through grief or sadness, like that's obviously part of the human experience, and
Right, of course.
we'll go through that all differently. We'll go through that differently. All of us will. And at the same time, the fact that you had things already that you were passionate about, that you were
Mhm.
putting your attention on, allow that healing to take place as you were connected. That's
Yes.
for all of us. Like when we can get connected. So this is what I wanted to highlight. Like as you were sharing that, I was like, that's awesome. Like even as a little kid, those things that were passionate, and I understand how that was allowing her to heal. So I just wanted to express that to the audience, that if you're
Yeah.
having any challenging times in life ever, a great option anytime in life is to do things that really light you up, that have
Yes,
you feeling
absolutely.
alive.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful, for those outlets that I've always had. And it's also, it's never too late. Yeah, like I was, blessed that I kind of was born into these creative mediums that I always enjoyed doing. Um, but I have a lot of friends who always say, I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. And I was like, I wasn't either. No one, you don't have to, it's not whether you're a writer or not a writer, or a painter or not a painter. These are just mediums that we are, allowed to be vulnerable through. And whether it's, just picking up a pen and writing a couple words down on the back of a receipt, you're still allowing yourself to release whatever that is out of you. And I think that's so important, especially right now with what's going on in the world. Um, our doors right now are physically closed, the doors of our homes and schools and businesses and all of, these places that um, we would normally be engaging with on a daily basis. Um, but I think what's so important is to make sure that our doors inside of us aren't closed, and it can be so difficult because these outside forces can be so overtaking. And that's why right now it's so, so, so important to make sure that you are keeping yourself as open as you possibly can be. And that's that higher awareness that we need to, have that self-awareness and be able to tell ourselves, oh, okay, I'm feeling this way today. I'm not going to push that feeling away. I'm going to let myself be open and let it run through me. the ebb and flow of kind of all of these feelings that are coming at us in so many different directions, all of these major shifts that we're all experiencing together. We need to let that all flow through us, run its course. Um, and a great way to do that is using these creative outlets like writing, especially for the people who might be alone right now, who really, aren't getting any human interaction at all. Um, that's really, really hard on your overall being. And that's why, if you can't converse with other people, you have to make sure that you're at least still conversing with yourself, whether that's writing or painting or meditating, anything that you can do to kind of make sure that internal communication is still flowing and not getting wrapped up in that external communication. There needs to be that balance of, okay, I'm going to let myself listen to this much news today, or allow myself to watch this segment or listen to the media. But then you need to be like, okay, how am I going to turn that off and focus on what's going on inside? And it's obviously much easier said than done, but it's so important right now to make sure that we're keeping that internal dialogue healthy, but also just moving, not letting ourselves get stuck just because the outside might be kind of stuck. The world might be kind of at a halt right now. We can't allow that external energy to affect what's going on internally.
I love it. I love it. You just inspired me to share two things. And the first is to just fully drive home the point I was attempting to make a little bit ago. And I was like, I want to say that better. So the reason why this is so important that Emily is sharing, and the reason why, like, when we're doing anything that she's describing, whether it be if you feel called to write or to paint or to meditate or to anything, it's allowing us to be connected with whatever it is that you believe out there, whether it be nature and God, love, universe, all it is, whatever it is that you would label that energy. It's a non-physical energy that is flowing to and through, and it's who all of us truly are. These physical avatars are just, this is what we see and this is what we identify as. However, the true version of who we are is that non-physical energy. And when we're connected with it, we're never disconnected with it because it's who we truly are. But we're allowing ourselves to be in the frequency where we can actually hear it and see it and be able to connect with it. Then in those moments, you have a higher point of view towards everything going on. And so you have the point of view of all that is. So all that is still looking at everything as evolving, and it's love, and everything is working out. And there's nothing like that nothing catastrophic that's going on. It might be a rough, challenging time, but you're not going to look at it from the same lens as if you're looking at the same things on the physical, like in the external, from a frustrated, worried, anxious, angry, upset, blaming view. It's a whole different point of view. So now your thoughts are going to be a match to, so our thoughts are always going to be a match to the frequency that we're in right now in the moment. And so that's why I'm all just about like being self-aware. And you mentioned it a second ago, so that I can know like where I'm at right now. And just like Emily was saying, like, it's not about like, if you notice that you're frustrated or like if it's a tough time, it's not about like making yourself wrong for, like demanding not be. What that's going to do, that resistance is just going to add momentum to the energy. So that frustration, that depression, it just will keep going. So, but if you can be aware of it, it's also this is the second thing I wanted to point out, because a lot of times people can hear, let it flow its course, let it take its course, let it flow through you. And a lot of times, a lot of people think that means, well, if I'm angry, then I'm just going to allow myself to, I'm just going to like push the anger as far as it can go. That's a choice for you, but you're just increasing momentum. Right. So you have to realize like that anger doesn't just stay at anger. If you increase momentum, it turns into rage, and it turns into like, it's a stronger frequency. So if you can be aware of it and not make yourself wrong for it, it can take its course. You don't have to do anything for it to take its course. But if you're inspired to, do something like meditating or writing, these are great ideas, like that inspiration. And that slows momentum down and can bring you back, in time to peace. So
Yeah. And I think, that really is kind of anxiety, like, as a definition is, we feel something, whether that be anger or sadness, and then we kind of convince ourselves that it's wrong to be feeling that way. So now we're just creating these layers, that end up putting us in a loop of negative thought about ourselves. And I've struggled with anxiety for a long time now, and it's not something to be ashamed of at all, but I think it's something that needs to be spoken about more, especially during these times. I wrote an article the other day, and I titled it "Quarantine is Not a Competition." Quarantine is not a competition. And just reflecting on kind of social media recently, which I have a love hate relationship with. I'm so grateful for social media because it has kind of, for both of us, for someone like you and someone like me, it's this medium where we kind of, that's where our business is, that's where we are able to kind of fulfill these dreams or whatever they may be. Um, but it can also be something that you can kind of get negatively sucked into. And recently, just in my own experience, there's so many people who are posting, their workouts every day and the decadent meals that they're cooking every day, and all these new hobbies that they're picking up in quarantine. And that's fantastic. I think it's great that people are taking advantage of this downtime, to kind of, pick up more things in their lives, whether it be hobbies or, um, but I also, once again, from a personal standpoint, I've noticed from this, outside of myself, kind of looking at down on myself, there are times when I see something like that on Instagram, and I have this internal dialogue that starts, that then tells me that I'm not doing enough. Well, look at all these people who are doing all of these things and accomplishing all of these things in the day. Why am I not doing that? And, I observed that thought and I immediately shot it down. Um, and I reminded myself that it's okay if you don't want to work out today. It's okay if you don't eat healthily today. It's okay if you don't write in your journal today. It's okay if you don't really feel like going outside. All of these things that I normally love to do. I love taking care of my body and I love spending time in nature. I love having conversations with friends and families, but there are some days when I just don't feel like it. And I had to remind myself that that's perfectly okay. And I can't beat myself up because I maybe just don't feel like doing something. And it's so hard for, this day and age, because we have social media and, we're kind of being influenced by, once again, these outside sources. We see something and we say, oh wow, why am I not doing that? Or, oh, I guess I have to go work out now because I just saw all of these people do it. No, 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 no. We are all experiencing this in our own way. And some people might want to share that more than others. And good for them. I'm trying to now see it as it's inspiring. It's not something to be intimidated of. But we need to remind ourselves that, it's okay if you don't really feel like being productive today. However you get through the day is perfectly fine. And whether that was by accomplishing a million tasks or whether that was by literally just breathing. It's all okay. Um, so yeah, that's kind of something also that I've been reflecting on. And once again, it's that internal dialogue that's being affected by the external dialogue, and that we need to make sure that we're witnessing how we're reacting to these things. Um, because obviously, mental health is always extremely important, but especially right now, it is even more so. So yeah, we all just need to take care of ourselves, and it's going to be different every day. Yesterday's not going to be the same as today. Today's not going to be the same as tomorrow. We kind of wake up and we acknowledge how we're feeling, and we don't fight it. Can't fight how we're feeling. We have to once again let it flow. If you're angry, okay, acknowledge, wow, feeling angry today. I'm not going to fight that feeling, because if I fight it, then it's going to, what you were just talking about, if you fight it, it's going to build, and it's going to be that tumbleweed, bigger and bigger and bigger. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? And you're going to explode. No, just acknowledge it. When you acknowledge the feeling, you're witnessing it, right? You're the observer. You're not just feeling it, but you're seeing that you're feeling it. And then we have the higher awareness, like you said, and we can allow ourselves, we give permission to ourselves to feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we accept it instead of deny it or fight it or push it away. We keep ourselves open to it. So yeah, I was kind of trying to incorporate what you were talking about, and
I'm so happy you brought that up. And just on on Emily's last part, and when you stop fighting it, I always notice that's typically when the clarity comes in that allows you to be back
wipe
to
the fog off and just see it for what it is. Yeah.
For sure. I'm so happy you just shared everything you just shared, because that's a part of life that I realize, just because I'm used to living that way, that I guess I take for granted, and this isn't spoke about as much as I would like it to. This will definitely be a part of the highlight clip as far as when I'm promoting this episode. Where you share. I think it's so important, because I noticed that too, that I take it as, and this is just language semantics, but I take it as the difference between motivated or inspired action. And just if I'm taking like the roots of these words, like motive, meaning I have an external motive, something that I'm trying to, this is what's, so it's like, oh, I don't feel like working out today, but like I got to do this, this, and this, or else I'm, just like the external, where my body's just asking for a rest. Like it's just, like I went for a run yesterday and I showed it on social media. And the first thing I said, you guys haven't seen me run in a while, because my body hasn't felt like running. Like I haven't wanted to. And oh, by the way, the last 2 days I ate pizza. So it's just like now.
Good for you. I'm jealous.
So like I'm super open, but I've been taking inspired action for a while since I've had this awareness. And when I say inspired action, I say, from spirit, from within, like where it's like, I'm actually feeling like excited to go in a direction and to be able to build some momentum doing something. And we're so much more effective when we're taking action from that place versus like, oh, like I'm just going to do this because, I'm seeing on social media, this is what I'm supposed to be doing or I should be doing. Says who, first of all? Like, you never really hear me ever say should or shouldn't, because like who says? So
there's no right or wrong way of being.
I love that you highlighted that, because it's so important. And like every part of my life is just like, if I'm connected and I'm inspired to do it, if I have an energy that's, going in that direction, I'm like, I want to explore this, then it's a fun action to take. And then momentum can get going in that area of life. Don't worry out there. If you have an intention for, better health or better relationships or career, finances, whatever it is, if you have something that's important to you, and all of our life experiences up until today have caused these desires that we have, because we know what we like, what we don't like, what we want, what we don't want. And so just know that you're clear on that. So if you do have an intention for a health goal, but today your body's just not feeling it, like it's just like, you don't feel like going out and doing the exercise, you don't feel like exercising in your little corner of the place. Like at-home workouts have been tough for me. It's like, I like being in the gym with like weights and like stuff. And, I like running on the beach. That's not an option. So, I've been asking myself, what can I do? Because out of the options that we have, what can I do? And
Right.
I don't feel like doing one of those today. I still have the intention for my health. So if
Yep.
another day passes and I still don't feel like it, cool. By the third day, because I still have the health intention, like now I'm excited to do it. It's like, okay, I haven't worked out in a few days.
Exactly.
My body's like energized. Like
Yes.
yesterday, I went for a super long run because I was excited to do it. I was excited
There
to
you
get the
go.
heat out of
Yeah.
my stomach and sweat a little bit.
And that is listening to your body, which is so important. I mean, listening to your overall being is important, which is basically what I was saying before, listening to your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, but your physical health too. Um, and you're exactly right. When you listen to your body, and if your body's saying, I don't feel like going for a run today, and you listen to your body and say, okay, I'm not going to force you, then the next day, yeah, you're going to wake up and you're going to say, wow, I feel rested. I listened to myself yesterday. Now I'm ready to take on all the, physical activity in the world. So I think it's so important to not force yourself. Once again, if that outside source is telling you to do something, which, like you said, there like should or shouldn't, there is no should or shouldn't. It's just being however you want to be or however you feel like being that day. um but yeah, we should never force action upon ourselves, because then it turns into something that's, number one, inauthentic, right? And we might lose that motive even more by forcing something upon ourselves. So I love that. Yeah, when you let your, okay, I don't feel like running today. I don't feel like, I want to eat pizza today. I'm gonna eat unhealthy today. I don't care. I just don't feel like it. And then the next day, when you listened to yourself, and you're gonna kind of maybe wake up the next day and be like, okay, yeah, now I feel like getting back into my routine. Or yeah, we have to kind of have that balance. It doesn't always have to be go, 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 which is so hard for a lot of people right now. Someone like me who normally lives in New York City, there's so much action constantly, movement and noise and energy. And it can be very inspiring. The city never sleeps. There's always something going on. And it can really help you get out of bed in the morning. It's like, oh wow, the birds are everyone's awake. The city is awake. Like, let's get this day going. Um, so for me, I love my solitude and my alone time to begin with, which I'm very grateful for, which is something that I've didn't always love, but I kind of implemented the development of that over the years. Um, but yeah, not having that kind of energy around me, that movement, that constant movement, um, it has affected kind of my pace. But I'm trying to embrace that, this collective stillness that we're all experiencing right now, this kind of um, pause, this collective rest that we're all experiencing. Um, it's something that doesn't come very often. How often do we? I'm trying to see this as more of an opportunity instead of a burden. you know how often do we get this opportunity to just stop, to just pause? And it's such a great opportunity to check in with yourself. A lot of people go through their days without even just pausing for 1 minute and just, closing your eyes and taking a deep breath and giving yourself just a few seconds. Some people are just go, 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 depending on what your life is and what your schedule is. We often neglect ourselves, and we neglect our need for rest and quiet time and solitude. Um, and this is such a great opportunity to kind of hone in on that. And it's challenging, spending time alone when maybe you're not used to spending time alone, or spending, time inside of a smaller space, that can kind of be a trigger for anxiety and, fear and all of the above. Um, but I think it's also, if you can implement it, a great opportunity to kind of build that comfort of, your solitude and being with yourself, feeling comfortable being alone. So important, enjoying the sound of our silence. It can be very challenging. Um, but I think this is a great opportunity to hone in on this collective pause that we're all experiencing and utilize it, sit with yourself, sit in the silence, talk to yourself, try and develop your relationship with yourself, um, so that when this is all over, which it will be, everything is temporary, um, you'll come out of it really appreciating yourself more, appreciating the time that you spent alone with yourself, appreciating getting to know yourself more. Um, and then that's something that's so important to carry with you, whether it's during a time of quarantine or during your normal day to day life. But yeah, just trying to, everything, there's so much negativity, but trying to kind of flip the leaf over and see this as more of an opportunity, less of a burden, I think is something we could all benefit from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes of life that it's just not for us to see. Like we won't,
Right.
life is just one ongoing synchronicity anyway. And
Hmm.
we always like to think about the really cool, like synchronicities, the stuff that we're excited about. There's also some pretty dramatic synchronicities that we can't predict also that happen in life. We're in a collective dramatic synchronicity right now.
Yes.
So there's always things going on behind the scenes that, it's just, we don't need to know the whole plot to the movie. uh,
Right.
we all have we all have things right now that we can do, and we can appreciate those, or we can think about the things that we can't do and make ourselves miserable. Both
Mhm.
choices. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you should or shouldn't do anything. Choose whatever you like. I just know that if I was thinking all day about the things that I can't do right now, I just wouldn't feel that good. It wouldn't be that very
Yeah,
good day.
me neither. Why put yourself in that negative hemisphere,
For sure. So by thinking about the things that we can do and knowing that there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't realize are going on, I know that there's things right now that I'm putting attention and energy on that are evolving differently because of the collective situation that we're all in.
Mhm.
The collaborations that I'm doing, the things that I'm creating,
Right.
it's evolving differently, and it's for the best. Like I'm affirming that
Yes.
everything is working out for me, for humanity, for all of us. So it's for me, it's more of an adventure right now of
Yeah.
wonder how all this is going to play out, and
Hmm.
how is this going to, how am I going to look back? Because typically as human beings, like pretty much always, we can connect the dots as far as, oh, this makes sense after it's already passed. So we can look back and be like,
Right.
oh, because I met that person, it led to this, and now look what I'm doing in my life. So we're not going to
Right.
be able to figure out all those dots right now anyway, so I don't even
Oh,
try.
not meant to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that there will be things that all of us, especially if you take Emily's advice or just be connected, like we've been talking about this whole episode, and just allow yourself to focus on whatever feels good to you. There'll be things that
Mhm.
you're spending your time and attention and energy on right now that you'll look back, as time passes and all this is like blown over and we're in a different space, it's evolved. Like, wow, like because of that situation, which was really challenging during it, because of the things that I couldn't do, but it's actually led to this, whether it's, you're reading one book that you wouldn't have read and you got a light
Yeah.
bulb moment where it's like, whoa, I've read books for sure, many of them that have changed my life forever. And it was just like
Yes,
the
me
perfect
too.
time for me to pick it up.
Yeah. I love what you said there, when you go through something that might be challenging or very painful. And in the moment, um, it's hard to kind of think about that everything happens for a reason, because when you're feeling pain or sadness, you know, the only thing you are thinking about is, why is this happening to me? But what I have learned throughout, my years of kind of experiencing deep pain and loss and grief. The hardest, most traumatic experiences that we endure in life, they actually unveil a deep inner power and strength that has always lived within us, but that may only come to the surface when we're faced with something intimidating enough to unleash it. Um, and it's hard to see that in the moment of whatever that pain that you're experiencing. But down the line, when you look back on that experience in a twisted way, you end up being so grateful for it because it truly got you to this place that you are now in regards to your overall being. But it also kind of, it unleashed, and I'm talking, more first person here from my own experiences, that pain or that struggle, it unleashes something within you, this power that maybe would have never been unleashed unless you were faced with this trauma. And now you have this power and this strength within you that you can utilize, not only utilize to overcome future traumas, which there always will be, something that comes next. Um, but you can also utilize this strength in your everyday life, to grow as a human and to evolve and to kind of hone into this new level of wisdom that you have that has been unveiled from something, very traumatic. And when I think about, you know, my my mother, who's I owe my whole life to her, she's been struggling with illness for the past 2 years, and she is the most pure, angelic person on this planet. Just a pure healer and caregiver. She's a nurse, so she literally has been a caregiver for her whole life, but she's so much more than that. She's been struggling with illness for the past couple years, and she was kind of finally seeing the light. We were kind of finally seeing the light at the end of a tunnel here. And we recently got another serious scare with her health, and it came out of left field. And it was almost like the universe brought us all the way up. We were feeling good, and she's feeling good, and we were seeing the light, and we we're so close. And for some reason, it was all taken away from us. And in a moment like that, where this huge, intense shift happens, it's so difficult to think, okay, this is just another test that we are going to overcome. And a couple years from now, we're going to look back on this and we're going to find gratitude in it because it got us to where we are. And now we're even stronger to overcome the next hurdle that comes our way. Fortunately, this scare was just a scare. It wasn't actually anything serious, but I'm still kind of trying to process what the universe was doing here, using this scare tactic kind of on our family.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, it's I'm still processing it, but it was kind of like just a little reminder that life is so precious and you never know what's going to come into your hemisphere. And when it does, you have to be ready to overcome. You can't sit there and wonder why is this happening. You have to just move forward and accept it and let that power unleash. And it really did within me. This strength came out of nowhere where I was ready to just go to war. Like I was like, all right, this is happening, let's fight. And when we found out that, we weren't going to have to go to war and that she was still stable, I still had that fire in me that was unveiled, like I was talking about, from this traumatic experience. And I'm like, wow, what can I do with this strength now? I have this strength that was unleashed in me. And like I said, I'm going to utilize it in whatever way that may be for my own personal well-being, my own growth. Um, so yeah, the universe works in very funny ways, as we all know.
I'm so inspired right now, Emily. This is going to be very beneficial to the audience and
Yeah.
for you as well. For what
Oh,
you're doing.
good.
So all of us, like when we come down here, again, we're just these physical avatars. This is what,
I love that. Yeah.
As Emily, I refer to mine as Noel, you refer to yours as
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're out there. But really, we're the non-physical energy that's flowing through it. So
Right.
all of our souls, before we incarnate in this life experience, like we're here to, because we want to experience being physical for one, because it just sounds really fun, because we could stay like just non-physical and do many things in all different dimensions, and that's another conversation. However, when we're in these physical bodies, we get to touch things and feel things and smell things and taste things. And
Mhm.
we all signed up for that. And at the same time, our souls are allowed, we're evolving,
Mhm.
always evolving. And so when your situation with your mom, not only is your mom's soul evolving, so is everybody around that's experiencing that. You guys are all evolving in a different way because of that life experience. Same thing that happens when someone incarnates in this life experience, and maybe they might have a handicap or a learning disability
Mhm.
or whatever. Not only is their soul evolving in that specific way, but also their family members that are learning
Right.
compassion and being
Right.
able to be patient, and so it's always same thing. If someone comes here and they die early, like we lost Kobe Bryant and his daughter.
Mhm.
Now the souls of the family that are still here are evolving differently, and there's things
Yes.
that they're going to do while they're here differently because of that. So
Right.
I never personally try to figure out all the reasons why, because the
No,
mysteries of the
you
universe,
can't.
we're
You have
not
to.
going to know
No,
that.
it's not.
All that we can control while we're still here in the physical is because of what we see now, like our life experience up until now. What is it that we would like to manifest from here?
Mhm.
Because what we want to manifest from here right now doesn't exist in the physical.
Right.
So whatever that is, whether it's a physical creation or manifestation of wellness or anything, but there's still going to be things that we won't be able to figure out. And so it's kind of like there's some things like you just mentioned, like chalk that up to like the mysteries of the universe. Like it's not going
Yeah.
to be for us to figure out
No.
all of it, but what is happening always is it's evolving the souls of every single person that's involved on every
Right.
level. So I mean, there's people that it just goes so many levels deep. Just not even just like the immediate family. It's like the people that you guys are experiencing life with, because they're there for you, and so
Yes.
it's just different.
All connected. All
Yeah.
connected.
So
Yeah.
I love being able to, because once I stop trying to figure out all the all the whys behind all
Mhm.
the things. Now there are some things that we can know, like for instance, if you leave the house today and you're just in a miserable mood. I've never heard one story from any human on earth that said, I've been in a crappy mood all day and it's just been the best day. But all these awesome synchronicities happening, and like people that have conversations that I have went so well, and never heard that story. So
No.
we can know that if we want to manifest like a fun and fulfilling day, like it starts with we're going to be reflecting out from here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if something is already manifest, I really don't spend much time trying to figure out why.
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, this is manifest. What do I want to manifest from here? And then focusing, embodying the frequency of that, so that we can
Yes.
bring forth that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way, of the negative effects that getting in that loophole of why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why do I deserve this? And it really is, it can get you into this dark place where you get stuck and so, stuck on the idea of trying to figure out something that's not meant to be answered, you know? Um, Not everything is going to have an answer, at least right now. Like I said, maybe 2 years from now or 10 years from now, you will look back on that experience you had, and then you will be able to see that light after years of reflecting on it and say, wow, you know what, i I'm grateful that that happened. I get it now. I feel why that happened to me. And maybe it won't be a positive thing, but I think it is so difficult to not get stuck on that question. But instead of asking why, we have to just accept it. And like you said, you manifest the next step. Okay, this is happening right now. If I ask why, it's not going to make it not happen anymore. If I try and figure out the answer, it's not going to make the situation stop. So really, that is just like a never-ending circle.
No one can de-manifest anything. I've never met a person that can like take some like this computer, this phone, like
Yeah,
this phone page,
physical,
and just like
physical or non-physical. Yeah, once something is there, it's there. I mean, you can't, you know, travel back and can't time
manifest something
travel.
new. All you can manifest something in addition.
Exactly. So yeah, I think, and I'm still learning, I'm still catching myself in those moments of, where something, a hurdle gets placed in front of me, and it's hard to not immediately have that instinct of why is this happening. It's kind of just like the way some of our brains like operate. When there's a question, we want to know the answer. It's kind of just the mechanics of the way we are taught to in school. Question, here's what's the answer, figure this out. Equation, figure out the equation. But in regards to like a metaphysical experience, or whatever you will, sometimes trying to figure out that equation is gonna make you walk 10 extra steps backwards, actually. So yeah, I think it's kind of letting that equal sign have nothing after it for the time being, and manifesting what you want to come next, or how you're going to get through this, accepting what it is for what it is, because it's not going to change. And the more you think about it, it's not going to change it any quicker or resolve it any quicker. But yeah, acceptance is hard. It's hard. It's hard to do. But it's really the root of moving forward, accepting that this is happening. We're not going back. The only other way is forward. Easier said than done, once again.
It is easier said than done. However, we're all 99% of the way there when we're asking questions,
Yes.
like Emily is, and she's aware enough to ask those questions. I'm noticing myself trying to figure this out and asking why. Like just the noticing,
Yeah.
like all the 99%.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's up to us if we want to like keep pushing
Mhm.
and struggling and trying to figure it out. Your choice, your option out
Yeah.
there. Or if you want to just when you release it, and that's typically when the answer can now find you. And that
Yes.
gives so much peace knowing that any question that I have in any area of life, whatever matters to me, I can ask to the universe. And if I'm in a frequency where I can receive it right then and there, then I can. There's a lot of times
Right.
where I have an intention going in, like a lot of times I go into meditation. I meditate in the morning. And my intention is just to be connected. Like I just want to start the day at peace.
Yeah.
Once I know I'm
What a
connected, my meditation can
beautiful
start.
way to start the day.
Yeah. And so a lot of times I'll just say, just let me create my to-do list today in meditation. So the universe will just drop down into my
The
mind.
best way to do it. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So, and then once I have like the things that I'm excited about, like, start the day. So,
And you have that clarity and the, that linear, the alignment, the groundedness. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why meditating can be so beneficial when you are faced with something that is challenging. Or, if you find yourself searching for an answer that isn't coming to you, um, sitting with yourself and once again, kind of being a vessel, an open vessel for whatever it is to flow through you, and accepting that, you know, the present, whatever the present is for you. Um, and so much clarity can come from that. So much can come to the surface through meditation. I think it's such an incredible practice that um, a lot of people, you know, might find challenging sitting. Once again, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about, is finding peace in your solitude, because that really is meditation. Is It's an individual practice, and a lot of people find discomfort in sitting alone in silence with themselves. But that's what that's where the breakthrough comes. That's where the surfacing of so many things occur, and the release and the clarity, the answers. um, so yeah, meditating is saved me in a lot of ways, as I'm sure it has for you too.
I was one that initially I was one of the people that said, I don't think I can meditate and sit here with
Yeah,
like
I was too. I was too.
it was guided meditations that
Mm,
really helped me in my beginning of my process
yes.
to where it was like focusing my attention and my energy on, different,
Yeah.
chakras and just energy centers, and like just allowing me to get present on just again, that self practice,
Mhm.
and versus all the external. And then once I realized I could do it, then it's like now I don't need a guided, I could do guided. There's been guided meditation specifically that I'm like, let me check this out. Um,
Yeah.
now, a lot of times now, because like probably my favorite place to meditate, I don't do it as much because it's hot here in Miami.
Mm,
A lot of time I go out there, but I like out in nature where there's
yes.
nobody
Oh,
around and it's just like me and
absolutely.
nature. Like it's awesome.
Absolutely.
If I'm in Miami Beach, there's always people around, so it's just
Mhm.
a little bit more challenging for me to just like completely tap in when there's movement
Right.
around me and people
Noise and
talking and yelling and
movement.
kids screaming.
Yeah.
But so I have on my little Calm app, I play
I
the
love
little
calm.
sounds. Yeah. So just the birds
Yes.
chirping and water. Like
The
I love
ocean
that going on.
waves.
If there's ever any sound going on like in the world, like if there's like anything ever, then I just want to like have like just peace. I just play that and just have like I
Um,
just put myself at the beach, like just
oh,
birds chirping.
oh, yeah. I love the Calm app. Yeah. For anyone out there who's kind of a newbie to meditation, guided meditation is such a great way to begin. Um, and it does exactly kind of what you were saying. It obviously it guides you to kind of focus your energy on certain parts of yourself, physical, emotional, mental. Helps you visualize, whatever it is that you're meditating on. um, and meditating doesn't have to be an hour long practice. You could meditate for 10 seconds. um, and I think that's why it can be intimidating to people. Like, oh, I have to sit here for 30 minutes in my own silence. No, you don't have to do anything. You could do it for 30 seconds. You could do it for a minute. You could do it for 5 minutes. And obviously, as time goes on, you kind of build your practice as you go, because it's a practice. But yeah, the guided meditations are very beneficial. That's how I started too, because I was kind of reluctant, when I was first starting. But yeah, that's great.
I love it. I love it. And I love when I catch the Instagram before it cuts off my live video.
Oh,
Um, Instagram is funny. If you don't catch it in time, they say live video ended, and if you don't see that, they say okay, goodbye.
it just does it. It does it without your. Oh my gosh.
Stop it, and like you don't have it saved.
Yeah.
Instagram just kind of gets the bonus. It's like the bonus rewards. Like they're just getting my phone like pointed at the screen.
Hey, I love it. It's great.
But there's some people tuning in, so
Good.
not tuning in anymore because it's over. But
Yep.
they got what they came for, I'm sure.
I hope so.
We've shared tons of awesome things. Just
Yeah, this has been such a great conversation.
I just want to always make sure, because I want to like squeeze all the juice that you want to share
Oh,
out of the
absolutely.
food today. And knowing the internet will live on for quite some time, someone could just as easily be attracted to this episode 50 years from now, which
Oh,
well,
I would love to think that.
say hello to Emily and I. We're still here hanging
Yeah.
out, enjoying life. But anything, you've been doing it the whole time, but anything you just would want humanity to know at any time that they're attracted to this episode that you feel would
Hmm.
be an uplift. It could be any topic, anything that flows out of you. Or,
Yeah.
or you could say, refer to the rest of the episodes.
I'll just reflect on a couple of things maybe that we've already hit on. But yeah, I think coming from a place, of a lot of my past has been a lot of pain and trauma. But there's always light to be seen. There's always light to be had, even on the darkest moments. We have to remember that these things are temporary. Pain is not who you are, it's something you're experiencing. You are not defined by your pain. It is something that you are feeling, and we have to let ourselves feel these things. Um, that's where the growth begins, and we can't get down on ourselves for, once again, kind of reflecting on what I said before. If we are feeling sadness, if we are feeling uncertainty, if we are feeling hopelessness or pain, um, we have to just let ourselves flow through that, and you will come out on the other side. There always will be that light at the end of the tunnel, and you have to believe in it. you know you have to manifest it. You have to allow yourself to see it, and it will be there. So yeah, I just hope that my work and my writing and whatever I evolve this brand, this community that I've created to be, I just hope that people can be touched, whether it's in a big or small way, by the things that I have to share and my vulnerabilities and my experiences. I hope to continue to bring people peace and love and light. And you're not alone in your feelings. You're never alone. There are always people out there who are feeling the same ways you are, and we're all connected. Um, so yeah, yeah, just sending everyone love, and we're all on this journey together.
It's true. I love it. Such a beautiful message and beautiful reminders for all of us. And when we
Oh,
say we're all connected, I've been enjoying just reminding everyone of this. Like, it's not just cliche. It's because, again, even though we see these physical avatars that we're all, in right now, like the true nature of all of us, who we really are, is the non-physical energy, which
yeah,
the same non-physical energy that's flowing through Emily is flowing through me, flowing through you, and
yep,
we're just different expressions of it. And so when we know that, we can be super excited for our fellow humans that are out there doing awesome things, allow it to inspire us
yep.
versus having us be envious of them. It'd be like one of the waves in the ocean envious of another wave because it's bigger or more blue. It's like, that doesn't happen
Mhm.
anywhere in nature but with humans, so
I love that metaphor.
so no, I'm rooting for all of us to realize. And here's another reminder: like, we take life so serious, and
Ah,
yeah, we're human, so there's going to be challenging parts to it. This is what we signed up for, by the way. We came down here because we knew our soul would evolve by being here, and because we thought it'd be really fun to be in these physical avatars. Like, we would have
yes.
stayed non-physical and had a conversation. And when we leave these physical avatars, you'll go back and be non-physical and then
Yep.
do whatever it is that you decide to do after this. It doesn't really matter to me what my energy decides to do after this, because I'm enjoying being physical right now. But
Me
if we're
too.
taking life so serious and like now realizing that we actually came down here because we thought it would be enjoyable to experience this life and have our souls evolve inside of these physical avatars. You may have more fun enjoying it, just seeing, not making yourself wrong if you're going through a challenging time, but also knowing that that's the reason why you are on the path that you're on. You know the direction that you want to go right now because of all of that stuff. Everybody's most challenging relationship is the reason why you know today what you desire in a relationship.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And I think we have to keep reminding ourselves that our true nature is love. You know, that's what we were born into this world embodying. It's all we knew as little baby infants, you know. And then everything else, pain, hardship, struggle, it's all a means to get ourselves back to love. And it's all a means of growth, our soul, like you said, you know. All of these things we're faced with are tests that are just ways of aiding us in our growth. So yeah.
I love it. Anything you want to share with the audience as far as that you have going on? You guys definitely follow Emily because I know everything.
Thank you. Yeah, whoever is watching, go check out my community, the Thought Blossom, and send me a message. I'm always eager to hear from all of you. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. No, you're awesome. I appreciate you sharing your love and light with all of us. It's been fun. I knew we would have a fun conversation I would have wanted to have with you anyway. And
I know, it was lovely.
Recorded and shared so it could be impactful for more people. And
yes,
affirming that this is our first collaboration, not our last though.
No, definitely not our last. It was too enjoyable to not have more.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you all out there as well. Share this episode when it's out on, if you're watching this live, it'll be out on iTunes and Spotify in a few weeks. Give me some time to catch up. I have lots of these recorded. So you already heard my take on inspired action. I don't force any episodes out there.
Nope.
They're sitting right here on my external hard drive waiting to be shared. Magnificent. I got a scare with my external hard drive a few days ago. So I have another one that just got delivered today. I'm like, this is, it just, I had to release it. It's so funny. Like it wouldn't connect with the computer anymore. It was just like,
oh my gosh. And so that's a lot of beautiful content that could have been taken away from you.
Once I released it, I was like, okay, I know this is going to work out. Then like later that day, it just like popped back up. And then it happened again where it disappeared. So now it's like I haven't turned my computer off for 2 days on purpose because I'm just letting it stay right there.
Okay, let it do its thing.
Yeah, I have a new one that just arrived, so I'm going to be transferring all of this stuff over. So we have a solution for this challenge.
Good. We have an answer.
All right, you guys. We'll share this episode. Appreciate you all that have been rating and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast. You've been making it easier for people to find these beautiful episodes. And there's no one review limit on iTunes. So thank you guys that have left one review. Feel free to leave another one and say this awesome thing with Emily was like, I learned this, and this. I'll screenshot it and share it with her. I know she'll appreciate that.
Thank you.
Just sending you guys all tons of positive, happy, healthy, abundant vibes until we connect again soon. And whether you guys are watching this now or 50 years from now, we're all in this together, and appreciate you all. So talk to you guys soon. Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going to end the stream, and then I'll say bye to you 1 second.
Okay.
Bye, live streamers. Appreciate you guys. Join us on Zoom next time if you guys want to tune in. All right. Streaming stopped. Awesome.
That was so fun.
Yeah, that was so good. We shared lots of cool stuff.
Yes, that's such a great conversation. It was nice to kind of speak all of that out loud.
I know.
Usually my journal and my poetry kind of.
I know, right? It always feels like I just got out of like a jacuzzi or something. Like I just it just always feels so good. That's why
or like a therapy. That was my therapy session for the day.
It's always interesting to just see what flows through and like what directions the conversation goes. Like I would never personally script any of these, or like that's why anytime anyone's asked me like what we're going to talk about, I'm just like it's going to just flow wherever.
It's so much more authentic when it's that way.
Yeah, and a solo podcast for me just would not work personally. I would have done like one episode. I would have shared everything that I could, and then
then you're like, okay.
4 hours. I'm like, I don't have anything else. The one-off inspirations every once in a while.
Yeah. How long have you had this podcast?
Only since it was late 20, what are we in, May 2020? It was
Yeah.
late 2018.
Okay.
So yeah, I've done like 150 or 60 of them, something like
Cool.
that.
Yeah, I was scrolling through your Spotify. I'm gonna have to dive in and listen to a couple of them.
Some a lot of interesting conversations there.
Yeah.
I feel really good about all of them because it's always in this energy where we're just flowing at this. Like the whole
Mm-hmm.
reason I call it enlightened conversations because it's the only frequency I'm willing to play at when it comes to like empowering the audience.
Oh yeah. No, I
Not
love it.
that, not that anybody is ever permanently enlightened because in the moment you could still be like frustrated or sad. So in that
Right.
moment you're just frustrated or sad. It's all good.
Right. Yep.
Um, but no, I knew that I would only play with you guys at like these fun levels. So
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive and sit and listen to it because I was scrolling through your Instagram and you have quite a few interesting people just from so many different walks of life. It
I know.
seems that you
I
have
get
on your podcast.
I
So
get in,
cool.
I get inspired, and then all of a sudden I'll reach out to like sexuality coaches or just like
It's so interesting.
all over the board. Because I mean, it all this, it all like comes from the same place. It's all like from our energy, and then it just goes into
Yeah.
health and wellness or relationships or
Right.
financial or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
it makes it fun to be able to just kind of play with any human
Let
from
it
any
flow.
walk of life. Yeah. Your focus right now, what are you with your community? Like, are you figuring out ways to, like you mentioned, figuring out ways to grow it and like, to monetize
Yeah.
it and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I'm kind of utilizing this quarantine as I've been trying to see what my next step, for my brand for a while now, but I'm my long-term goal is to be a health and wellness business. So I'm kind of trying to. I just bought my domain to create a website. Um,
When you say health and wellness business, like you're the as doing like coaching or
um, Not maybe more of a company actually.
having other practitioners doing different stuff?
Yeah.
That's
And having my own products for wellness products and offering, yeah, I guess it would be more having other people involved in the company who offer, coaching or courses or um yeah, it's kind of a work in progress right now to kind of see where I want to take it. But doing this is my first legit podcast that I've kind of been involved with. So this is kind of like an inspiration for me. I'm going to try and do more of this and reach out to some other people just so that I can kind of get myself out there a little bit more, and also have my own content, that I can put on my website and stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm so young. Like I'm only 25. So like this
oh
is all
baby. I love it. I
yeah.
knew you were young. I knew you were in your 20s somewhere.
Yeah. So this is still in the fetal stages of kind of where I'm seeing this brand evolving to. Um, but what I'm doing now, it works. I have an engaged audience that really enjoys the content that I'm putting out. So I'm nervous to adjust that too much. I'm never going to, not be showcasing my writing and my poems, but I think it's more that I need to start incorporating other things, adding other types of content into the poetry to kind of evolve it more.
Can I plant another seed that,
Oh, please. I'm like, please, please, anything.
and this could just be an additional lane for not only you but also your audience to be able to. I'm
Mhm.
all about helping. I'm all about asking the universe what's the easiest way to help ourselves uplift our consciousness, the consciousness of others, and
Yeah.
then flow in abundance. And when I say abundance, not just monetarily, also an abundance of time, so we have freedom
Mhm.
to do whatever we feel most fulfilled doing. Health,
Yeah.
relationships, like just more than enough of everything that is
Yes.
important. And so I have a community called Universal Abundance.
Mhm.
And because I've collaborated so much in the past, year and a half plus with so
Yeah.
many different people from different walks of life, there's an abundance of content when it comes to like everybody in the community is invited to share. It's not a requirement, but even
Okay.
if someone is a mom and
Right.
doesn't want to share anything on social media or write any books or do any coaching or anything like that,
Right.
she likes to consume it and have her consciousness uplifted. Maybe there's one video that she might be inspired to share on parenting that I tell everybody, if it helps one person, you just made the collective more valuable. Because if I'm searching for parenting
Yeah.
and I see your video, then I'm happy that it's there if it helps anyone.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but what that allows that mom to also do as a member of Universal Abundance is everybody's able to monetize this product that we're creating together, because it's not my product or your product. It's so many different,
Everyone
many
sees
hands
that.
makes light work.
Yeah.
And then plus we're doing live workshops where imagine every good book that you ever read in your life, you could just get the author on the phone and
Uh,
ask questions or do a live stream like, hey, I had a question on page 30. Like you said this
yeah. That'd
in
be
my
great.
life, I have this going on. Like I would like to know. So I feel like that helps people connect the dots much more
Yeah.
effectively. So we
Yeah.
also, that's another big part of it is the live element, the workshops. And
Cool.
so put all that together, and then now you have this like super product collaboration
Right.
where
Right.
everybody can monetize it by, we give, there's a monthly membership and there's 3 levels of membership depending on
Okay.
the advanced information. Like if you were doing a coaching program, the stuff that they taught you in the first day would be in
Yeah.
our first level of the membership, which that's just $20 a month. But if you
Okay.
want their advanced stuff that you would learn month 2, month 3, that's
Right.
$100 a month, which allows everything to scale. But what we do, just we give away half of the monthly memberships. So if you invite, like if you're a stay-at-home mom and you invite 2 of your friends, we'll give
Okay.
you half of their monthly membership. So now your membership is free. We're giving
Oh,
you 50%
I
of both of them.
see.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so, and if we just help them get their membership for free, we take it one step further and we give you 25% for the people that they invite.
Oh,
So
wow.
now they've gotten free. So that's 4 more people, but we're giving you 25% for each. So now you have 100% profit coming in to you. And
Wow.
so as that scales, someone can make, we also have
Yeah.
a,
If it
we
keeps
can,
trickling out.
yeah, once we can travel again, like we have also $1,000 membership when someone's ready for that, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
mastermind that all we're talking about is how can we uplift the community, humanity, and then where we want to have our live events where
Yeah.
we do workshops that are in person, which is way more fun.
Yeah.
And just being able to co-create and enjoy life with other people that have the light bulb on and have abundance flowing in, to where it's not a matter of, like if we tell you we have an event going on in Bali in August, it's not a
Mhm.
matter of can you go, you have the time and the money if you've been participating with us, because
Yeah.
this is coming in monthly. So imagine not having to put in even 1 second of time to work after it's already coming in, because the only requirement for anybody to get paid from Universal Abundance is just to be an active member. So
Yeah.
if you're paying, say you have the $20 and the $100 membership, you're paying $120 a month, but you have 1,000 coming in.
Coming
I think
in.
you'll
Right.
ever stop the $120 membership. I think
Yeah.
you'll keep it forever. So it can really
Wow.
multiply pretty significantly, especially when you start traveling with us and doing the $1,000 one. That's
Traveling, doing retreats and all of that. I
yeah.
love.
And so this is just all, it's come from just asking the universe, how can we all thrive? And
Yeah.
the reason that the membership starts as low as $20, because the value is way more than 20, like if once
Uh-huh.
you see what's in there. But I even wanted people in like third world countries to where $20 might seem like a million, but if they got
Yeah.
together with 20 people in the village and they all came up with $1, now they could even start the scaling process to where,
Right. Of expanding.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
$20 could be the
Cool.
equivalent of like 10,000 for us, for some people.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Cool. That's a lot to take in. I'm glad you shared that with me. Is
I'll take,
there information that
of
you can send
course.
me, your
I'm text
website or
you.
whatever?
I'll text you a link to the website. I do a
Okay.
video which um, it'll highlight everything that I just shared.
Okay. Oh, very cool.
It'll go deeper
I'm a visual learner, so
for
that's
sure. It shows the inside of the community. I'm actually, because I've been doing lots of like Zooms during this whole process.
yeah.
So I have like new clips from different Zooms that I've done that I want to edit into the video that are on there. So
Oh,
today
cool.
at some point I'm like editing that video and putting in like,
It's constantly evolving.
I'm constantly asking the universe to show me ways to share it more simply.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
especially when you're talking about numbers, it's like,
Yes, it
like
can get
numbers in the
very
sky.
complex. Yeah.
But yeah, in essence, I've been telling people the easiest way on the planet to uplift our consciousness and then
Mm,
attract the abundance as a result. Like,
I love that.
yeah. So when you started talking
Cool.
about having, because you're talking about doing collaboration too. So
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
that's thinking like that, it's just like, what?
Yeah, that's a great door for me to kind of step into.
Yeah, I have some coaches that are spreading this right now. That after like someone goes to their coaching program, this is like continued education to where that coach has done workshops with me and they'll do videos, when they're inspired and put more content inside of our community. And then those people that they just coach, with whatever new awareness that they got from them, can now also they can monetize this over here and learn
Oh,
more from
wow.
other people. And so it's just like I want to give like coaching will change dramatically. I actually have some coaches also that instead of their $1,000 a month like coaching program,
Yeah,
they say if you join Universal Abundance at the $1,000 level,
yeah.
we'll do the coaching for you. But now you can actually monetize this to where, in essence, you can get your coaching for free if you just refer two people.
Wow. A
Yeah,
lot of
so
layers to that.
it just, there's it's very interesting when we ask questions of the universe on how can we all work together and help each other. What
Yes.
they
Yeah,
did back when we were in tribes and everybody
I
had
know.
to bring what they had to the community. If you fish, go catch
Community.
the fish for us. If you can
Yeah.
maintain the fire, keep the saber-tooth tigers out, whatever it is, like
Yeah. It's
everybody do
all community based.
yeah,
Yeah. That's where the growth happens. Yeah.
for sure. So
Cool.
2020 version of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. That
Of
just
course.
sparked a couple things in my
I love it. I love when you're
in my
25.
brain.
Like, at any age, your awareness is awesome. I always get excited when, especially when people are super self-aware enough to ask themselves questions and just allow themselves to evolve and
Yeah.
realizing that none of us will ever have all the answers of
Nope.
all the
Mm.
universal truths. We'll know what we need to know when we're ready, and we'll retract more when we need it.
Yeah. As
So
long as we just stay living in the present. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm very grateful for that awareness. That was obviously
I didn't
something that
ask you that. Normally I do. Normally that's one of my first questions. We just started flowing right away.
I think
So,
I kind of touched on it.
well, how you got the initial light bulb? I didn't get that part.
Yeah. I guess it I guess I kind of said it in another way of like,
By the life
from the
experience.
young age.
I got it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, the young age of using my creativity and the outlets that I have. I was able to
That's
converse
why.
with myself and kind
That's
of
why I didn't ask you specifically, and because
yeah.
I immediately took that as like, ooh, I love what she just said, and like when she was involved in her passion, she was connected. So you got the.
Yes. Yes, we got there.
I love that so much because it simplifies it for everyone. Where it's like you don't need to read like a specific book necessarily, or
No,
have a certain like guru come into your life necessarily.
no.
Just
Can be so much more simple than we imagine it to be.
for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Happy to know you exist.
Oh, I appreciate you, Noel. Thank you so much for having me. Send me, whatever info, website, whatever.
The easiest way to communicate with you is through the Thought Blossom thing. You get all those.
Yeah, or my email. I think you have my email too, right? Through the
Probably,
Zoom.
probably connected on your. Oh
But
wait.
yeah, you can DM me. DMing. I'm always checking my
Okay. I've
message.
unless someone tells me otherwise, I'm staying with DMs because I get alerts from that. The email, I get alerts, but I don't. The DM gets my attention faster, I've noticed.
Yes, me too. DM kind of pops up more frequently. Yeah, I agree.
Email kind of just like, even though I get alerts, kind of hangs in the background. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I
Yeah, yeah,
got an
yeah.
email.
Direct
It's like here.
message. Yep, it shoves it in your face.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Yeah, enjoy that hot weather. I'm jealous.
I know. I start to feel it after like podcasts going for a while. Like it's all
Yeah, all the other internal
I
juices
turned
go.
off my air so that it could be better sound.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's time to turn the air back on. All right, Emily.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate it. Bye.
Blessings. Bye bye.